And now your Idaho real estate news.
Do you think that the world revolves around you? You, the coolest, smartest real estate agent ever. Does it appear that all the other real estate agents are inferior and need to improve themselves because you are right and they just don't get it? This is Mike Johnston, contributing editor for Idaho Real Estate News. This week, we will discuss working with other real estate agents. I read an article by Spyro Kimball, a realtor with Certer Properties, Religions Group in Orange County, California, called 5 Rules for Playing Nice with Other Real Estate Agents. In it, he wrote, quote, "For many years, I was on a self-centered journey where I thought all paths led back to me. I honestly believed during that time that the sandbox I played in was either all mine or at least a territory governed by my rules. There is a common ugly behavior I see often in real estate. I call it, quote, not playing nicely in the sandbox syndrome, end quote. There's no doubt that from time to time, we are all guilty of having this attitude. We all want to believe that the road to a successful transaction runs through us. The truth is, that's selfish. A successful transaction requires us to work together as co-creators of the deal, end quote. The National Association of Realtors has in place the Code of Ethics, to which all of its members must subscribe to. In Idaho, about 92% of all real estate licensees are members of this organization. The Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice of the National Association of Realtors is comprised of 17 articles. Articles 1 through 9 address duties to clients and customers. Articles 10 through 14 speaks to duties to the public. Then Articles 15 through 17 addresses what we want to talk about, duties to realtors. Let's read these 3 articles. Article 15, quote, "Realtors shall not knowingly or recklessly make false or misleading statements about other real estate professionals, their businesses, or their business practices," end quote. Don't make misleading statements about other agents, their business model, or even their business in general. We are told that this includes the duty to publish a clarification about or to remove statements made by others on electronic media the realtor controls once the realtor knows the statements is false or misleading. That comes from Standards of Practice 15-3. Article 16 reads, quote, "Realtors shall not engage in any practice or take any action inconsistent with exclusive representation or exclusive brokerage relationship agreements that other realtors have with clients," end quote. It is unethical for an agent to call a property owner who has been identified by a real estate sign, MLS compilation, or other means that they have exclusively listed their property with another realtor. Standards of Practice 16-2. The big one here is when an agent wants a buyer to work with them and to disregard a current buyer representation agreement that is in effect. A realtor shall not directly or indirectly initiate such discussions. Realtors have an affirmative obligation to make reasonable efforts to determine whether the prospect is subject to a current, valid, exclusive agreement to provide the same type of real estate services. That's found in Standards of Practice 16-5, 6, and 9. Article 17's first paragraph, quote, "In the event of contractual disputes or specific non-contractual disputes as defined in Standards of Practice 17-4 between realtors, principals, associated with different firms, arising out of their relationship as realtors, the realtor shall mediate the dispute if the board requires its members to mediate. If the dispute is not resolved through mediation, or if mediation is not required, realtor shall submit the dispute to arbitration in accordance with the policies of their board rather than litigate the matter," end quote. So what does this mean? When we speak with other agents, we should speak to them like we want to be spoken to. Do not speak down to them. Do not belittle or bemoan them. Give them some respect and courtesy. I spoke to a fellow real estate agent who said that she had a hard time working with several other agents because they said she was a disgusting individual, that she makes all other agents look bad. I've even heard of agents seeking revenge because the other agent didn't accept their offer out of the numerous offers their seller received. As a great teacher once said, and I've modified the quote to address real estate agents, "He that is a perfect agent, one without flaws, let him be the first to belittle him." I don't think any of us is perfect. We all have more than we can learn. We need to help those around us who need help and teach others what we have been taught. By doing this, we will help raise the bar for all of us in the real estate industry. Some of the biggest concerns that I have found is due to how we communicate with others. Many agents just want to text, and in a text, you might not get the full meaning that the other is trying to give. Others prefer email and want to document everything the other side says to protect their side in the transaction. Why don't you just try to pick up the phone and speak to the other party? You can learn a lot from an honest and sincere conversation. Talk about the issues and see what you both can do to resolve any problems. Don't dig in and not be willing to negotiate or come to some sort of agreement that works well for all involved. Many agents make the decisions for their buyer or seller without even consulting with them. That is not right. The world does not revolve around you. Be honest in all that you do. Spiral Campbell continues by saying, quote, "In the real world, it's imperative to be on top of your personal game and equally to have a strong working relationship with fellow agents." So what does playing nicely in the sandbox look like? End quote. He gave us the 5 rules for playing nicely in the sandbox. These are his interpretations from the Code of Ethics in layman's terms. I've modified some of his words, etc., to simplify or to clarify and to shorten things. They are, number 1, share your toys. There is a saying I've always embraced: you don't know what you don't know. Therefore, if and when an agent asks you for your professional opinion, give an intellectual donation to the industry and provide your knowledge. Many times you might be the expert in your area, and someone might need to draw on your years of experience to make a deal work. If you are called upon, share your wisdom, and someday you might need to call upon someone else. Number 2, allow others into your sandbox. No transaction can take place in a vacuum with only you. In other words, you are not an island. You are hired by your clients for more than your ability to just put a home in the MLS. A monkey can do that. But you are also hired for your marketing prowess, your negotiating skills, and your ability to connect the right buyers and sellers. In other words, networking with other people is a must for success in our industry. Number 3, don't squawk. In our business, some agents feel that gossip is gold. In an industry that deals with the spillage of divorce or financial ruin that puts houses on the market, there's no doubt that you will hear things from other agents or clients that are as juicy as fat on a piece of steak. As a professional, however, you must be aware of inflammatory communications. Negotiations can get emotional enough as they are. Your job is to be the filter that keeps the dill between the railings. Number 4, be polite and courteous. Real estate is saturated with part-timers, and it's unavoidable to encounter an agent who is not on your level or who is not as accomplished as you are. When you do encounter these agents, rather than getting frustrated and speaking to them like they are in kindergarten, try remembering that you probably learned to climb the jungle gym years before them. Number 5, keep the sand clean. If you study the greatest leaders in the world, one of their common traits is order. As a realtor, one of your jobs is to keep your files accurate and organized. This is especially important when an issue arises after the closing. But more so, this important discipline will allow you to focus on managing your client and the deal, all while maintaining organization for a successful closing. For all you non-paperwork types, don't use your lack of enthusiasm for detail as an excuse. There are transaction coordinators available for hire who can maintain the detail work for you. So the next time you are tempted to argue or complain about another agent, remember, you were probably in that same situation before. How would you like to be treated? This has been another segment of Idaho Real Estate News. If you found this article useful, please share it with others. Subscribe by adding us to your Alexa Flash briefing or by sending us an email to Johnston, Johnston, at mykro.com. We have a website with all of our past topics that have been discussed. Visit the website IREN.news for more information. There you can also submit topics you would like us to cover. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insights on forms and other real estate topics. For Idaho Real Estate News, I'm Mike Johnston.
Idaho Real Estate News is updated weekly.